Welcome back to the Backside Poddy. This week's episode, we chat about the Q Tour, Milan San Remo, and the Sharks.
2 gin and tonics, 2 vodkas, and a scotch.
Yes?
500 watts, please. Now let's introduce you to the Backsiders. Jim Bob.
Yeehaw.
Shawnee.
G'day.
Nico.
Good afternoon.
Lambo.
Kia ora.
Freebs.
And I'm Freebs. Good to see you, boys. Nice to have everyone here in the studio.
Yeah, Kurt's away. Standard.
Kurt is away. He's too
He
busy.
hasn't missed one for a while, so I'm quite surprised he's pulled up stumps here, but we've got 2 great guests.
Yeah, I know. What a treat.
Yeah.
What a treat.
I feel a bit out of place here, actually.
Nah, I don't feel out of place. I feel at home.
I'm the only one that didn't race on the weekend.
You still came though, mate.
Oh, yeah, I was there
in spirit.
cheering you on.
You still obliterated yourself, just in a different
Yeah,
sense.
exactly.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, Freebs, how's your week, bruv?
Mate, obviously it was good. Started off pretty cool. I managed to. I know we don't talk about work on here, but got a new job during the week. So
Big dog.
back at Team Blue Harcourts. So maybe we'll see the Harcourts team come back. No, only joking. Happy with Cobra 9. Jim Bob's giving me the look of death. But no, back with Harcourts, looking after Queensland. So I'm looking forward to starting there in a couple of weeks. I obviously rode Pro Velo during the week, on the weekend, which is pretty hectic. And just was into it. Big week.
Got a bit of TV time as well, mate.
Yeah, I tried. I definitely put that on my agenda when I started the Pro Velo races to see if I could sneak on there. But
It's like every big race you do, you're like, as long as I get TV time, I'm a happy man.
pretty much.
Nationals.
That's all you need, mate. That's all you need. That's all everyone needs. But no, it was good, mate. It was an awesome weekend. It was a really nicely run event. It was awesome to have so much like cheering from the side, except for obviously you boys were there cheering us on Friday night. But I don't know how you boys felt, but pretty much everywhere you went, you had someone cheering your name, and it was it was a really nice feeling being part of the local tour. So yeah, I had an absolute blast. And
The support was sensational. Absolutely sensational.
big shout out to a number of the people there on Friday night in particular.
There's too many people to name that we saw on that Friday night. It was wild, man.
I was actually surprised how many just punters were there. Like just people obviously we didn't know, but they were all like giving you high fives as you finished. There was clapping. There was just a real appreciation for. I think they saw how bent we got. So
Well, and it was so hard to interact with people that we knew as well because you're so laser focused, and like we'll sort of get to later, there was a lot of anxiety before that crit because it was just gnarly, very sketchy, tight, fast. Risk of crash was extremely high.
So that was my week. Jim Bob, how was yours?
Mate, Freeze, mine looked very similar to yours, man. Probably Friday day, I spent a lot of time looking for marginal gains before the weekend. So I was doing things like shaving my arms in between working and stuff like that.
We're just talking about shaving arms. How about Freebs?
Mate, I could have plugged.
Kurt ripped into him the other night.
He did. And I delivered.
He delivered. So I'm quite impressed that you actually listened to Kurt for once.
Oh, I think we all listened, man. We were all looking for the marginal gains there. But that was my Friday. And then obviously the rest of the weekend was taken up with Pro Velo, which was a sensational event. It was epic weekend. On a bit of a come down at the moment from the weekend.
Yeah, it was a bit of an adrenaline dump, wasn't it?
But man, we've got so much to talk about the Q Tour. So
Let's get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Shawnee, how
let's
was your
park it
weekend,
there.
mate?
Yeah, mate, it was great. Started off Friday night on an absolute blazer. And it was good.
Luckily, you still have your teeth.
Yeah, yep. It was good to see the boys just ripping it. I was sad not to be out there, but I was also very happy on the sidelines. Just doing my thing, chirping.
Mate, you
Certainly did that.
the media pass that you were running was fantastic, man.
Yeah.
You're interviewing everyone was frothing it, and then you dropped some content the next day that was like, we were like,
How do you do that?
how do you get that content and stitch it together like that so well?
To be honest, I don't remember. So
It was a fast turnaround, mate, and you just had some views.
yeah. I had a very late wake up on Saturday. I was not feeling too well.
I bet.
I think you guys had already TT'd, had lunch, had a
Going back
nap.
to the lakeside.
Yeah, and probably warming up for Lakeside when I woke up.
Oh,
How good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
But I caught up with Croc and Bano, the legends of the OG cycling
God,
world.
where were they?
We caught up with them at a baseball facility of all things, and we were just having a hit.
Throwing some pictures.
Weren't pitching, we were having a hit. Bloody, I tell you what, my left shoulder's a bit sore though.
Yeah.
Still sore.
Does that.
I'm not taking up baseball anytime soon, but Crocs are getting a call up from Bono for the Masters team, I reckon. Crocs
I reckon
got some bite on him.
Masters baseball would be a good place to hang out, man. I'm seeing plenty of beers in that future right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I reckon Crocs, it's got his name all over it.
Should hurt a lot less than cycling too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, apart from
the shoulder.
Nico.
G'day.
What's happening?
Week that was, bit of a tight turnaround. So we had Grafton to Inverell last Saturday. That always leaves the legs and the body stinging. So
mate.
How did you pull up from that, actually?
I was a zombie on Sunday.
Yep.
Absolute zombie. I just wanted to sleep all day.
At Grafton, after Grafton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it was like just over 400 TSS in 6 hours. So that'll hurt in anyone's language.
Did you do the crit the next day too?
No, we just came back.
He was home.
Straight away?
Cobra 9 guys, we just came straight back on Sunday night. So
In the Lee Surveyor's car?
that's it. Just raced down the M1. So good to get home and sleep in your own bed after a day like that.
Absolutely.
Couple of maintenance rides during the week, but nothing too chaotic.
Just a standard training week for you then?
That's it. Just 2 fifths of bugger all, and then back to it on Friday night with the guys for the Q tour. So it was good to wrap that up, and that's the week.
Fantastic. Mr. Lambert.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks, guys. Week that was, mate. It was pretty standard for me. Just trying to get as much done at home before cashing in all my leave chips for 3 solid days of
Amen, brother.
minimal parental duties. It was pretty light week on the training tools.
Are you in deficit now, mate, or you're all right?
Yeah, a few IOUs written out, number of those. But no, the Q tour was the main thing last week. Like the other boys here, doing 3 rounds and just getting up on the Friday and just kicking it off there.
It's pretty hectic, wasn't it?
It was great.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the Q tour, seeing it's a hot topic.
It is a topic on everyone's
boys. Debrief. I'm taking a silent seat here.
Well, I think it started on Friday night at the shop, didn't it? Down in Milton at
when
the Pedler.
Curto rocked up.
Well, all the boys are sitting in there and everyone's like getting their game face on, and then Kurt comes flying in on his scooter.
On a Lime scooter.
He's
15 sheets to the wind.
How many skewies do you reckon he'd had by then?
Mate, he was flying.
Oh, he would have had some ciders at home.
Yeah, he was into them. I think he was on those grenades, those solos, or what they are.
They go down a treat.
Yeah, he was.
Anyway, he came in like a tornado, running his mouth, and the 2 GC kids, Jakey Cawthorne and Christian, they
Didn't know what to do.
They were like, "Who is this guy?"
They were rattled, mate. They were rattled.
They were genuinely rattled. It's like
tornado to Curto.
They lost focus and all sorts, man. It was a lot.
We had to kick him out.
He's one of a kind, isn't he?
Yeah, we had to get rid of him, mate, because he was just distracting. Those 19-year-olds, he got distracted at the best of times, but Kurt just sent him into a tailspin.
Anyway, so Whitey quickly kicks him out.
Whitey kicked him out. Bugger off, Kurt.
He didn't. He didn't. I'm being facetious.
He kind of worked. He read the room. Fuck off, Kurt.
Did he steal any of your snakes off your handlebars?
Oh,
what
mate.
was the story with that?
Well, to be true,
be truthful.
I actually stole the idea of one of your team members.
Okay.
Is that young Fletcher?
Correct.
Yeah, saw him with a few snakes dangling around his stem.
Yeah, he always does that, and I was like, that's not a bloody bad idea.
Let's try.
I've never seen him do it.
So I wanted to just continue the carb load throughout the commute from, commute from Newstead in the traffic, which could be 15 minutes to the Pedler.
Yep.
And I thought, why not slide a couple of snakes down while we're going through the city? And that was the whole plan of it. But anyway, Elliot thought it would be funny to do a little poll on his Instagram page, and I think he got a fair bit of traction out of that. It was quite comedy.
Yeah.
But it's Fletcher. All the accolades to the young Fletcher.
To be fair, mate, you've been running that for a while, since Masters and that's last year.
Yep.
You actually
tucked him under my seat.
Race.
I've tucked him under my seat before too.
On the seat rails?
Just under the rails. You can get about 10 under there.
You're joking. Imagine all the grit that gets spun up there.
Oh, mate, I clean my shit.
I'm not talking.
He's dead set reaching around behind his asshole, pulling snakes out mid-race, man. It's
snakes out your ass.
Yeah, it's like snakes alive. Not the worms, mate. Oh, it's the sour worms.
Oh, bring it back. Bring it back. Okay.
So started at the Pedler.
We did. And Whitey gave the boys a G up And then we rode from there over down to South Bank. And that's where all the teams were set up down there. We bumped into Shawnee, bumped into Lambo and the Tandem boys over there.
The Wang.
Everyone's getting it done. The Wang.
The Brennan boys. It was all happening. And the girls were going around.
They were.
Did you see the Cage guys all in their trainers, all
Yeah.
lined
Oh,
up,
yeah.
looking super pro?
Poor bastards. That was quite funny, actually. They were all warming up, like really taking it serious, getting ready for it. And then the start line just decided to form on the start line at about 25 minutes before the race started.
You're joking.
And we were sort of told, because you were with me, Pets.
We
and
sat there for a very long time.
we were down there on a 45 to the start line, just saying, please line up here. We'll sort of marshal you from here, and you can sign on as you go through the barrier. I'm like, perfect. Like, what a great spot. And all of a sudden, the girls finish, and there's this tidal wave. About 40 riders come thundering down the back straight, and just pull up stumps. And they've gone, we're just going to do a few hot laps. And they just went and sat on the start line. And mate, it was like we were 10 deep before we even started.
And everyone's just edgy as, so everyone's just pushing forward. And then I look around and I've got all the boys sitting around me, and I was like, we're at the back.
Yeah, and
We're at the
Liam
back.
and Cam Scott were literally on the back because they were still warming up on the trainers.
Well, it didn't stop him from getting the win.
Mate, it proves to you don't have to be the start,
Yeah.
the front line. But anyway,
They must have smacked those first few laps so hard. Anyway,
I saw
so
Liam dive bomb that first corner very, very aggressively. Not too many people can get away with that.
so like with the dive, like was he just full tilt out of
well, there's 20 spots.
like
Last of the late breakers.
Who's this, Liam?
Liam Walsh,
Oh,
last of
mate.
the late breakers on the inside.
bouncing off the curbs.
so
kept
is
it
he in the
upright.
drops full gallop going in there and then just hits the anchors and just carves it through the inside?
That's a Liam special.
It was pretty impressive. I tried to follow and I thought, oh, nah.
I don't even know if he hit the anchors, Like, he came past me
Pinballing.
really fast and just threaded through a gap I didn't think existed. And
He did that
he just
all
found
weekend.
his way straight to the front. Like,
Wow.
He did that all weekend. It was incredible.
What
it's
lap
a great
was that?
skill.
one.
Lap one from
Yeah,
the
one.
gun. First
Yeah.
corner.
Wow.
What was that?
Props, Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can ride a bike, man.
Balls of steel.
Yeah, he has got that.
Yeah.
But I think it's part of doing like Omnium and all those different track rides.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No brakes, find a hole, thread it, like you said, Lambo, the needle, and
Yeah.
This would be like easy mode after doing TDU and
Yeah,
all
all
those
that.
events.
yeah,
This is a bit,
it's like a
So that
taking a kid from a candy.
Yep.
Candy
how was
kid.
that first lap? Maybe even the first 10 minutes.
Oh, mate,
The
the first 10
sting,
minutes was
the
just,
sting. Oh,
it was brutal.
I looked back at my heart rate data, and I think I must have gone into some sort of SVT, which is a supraventricular tachycardia. For those who don't know, 212 beats a minute. Like, physiologically,
Are you
I don't
serious?
think I'm capable of doing that. Like the highest I've had before is maybe like 180.
Wow.
Oh, mate, it was
lasted
ridiculous.
about 3 minutes apparently, according to my heart rate monitor. So.
You've
Maybe
fractured-
it was someone else's. Just
Yeah, that's it.
stole the data.
I think it was Jim Bob's next to me on the start line.
It might have been, hey.
He
You
was
fractured all your ribs there, mate. Your
was-
heart's beating so hard. Like,
He was looking nervous on the start line. I think it just Bluetoothed to his.
to be fair, mate, I
over.
wasn't very happy sitting there. And I think Freeb summed it up perfectly the other day. We went into that scared shitless and came out of it scared shitless. And I think truer words have never been spoken, my friend.
Yeah, it was hard.
You've summed it up perfectly.
Yeah, well, I think it was particularly hard. Like there was a lot made of it beforehand, and I think that built the animosity and the energy around it. To be frank, having not done any stages at all of the Pro Velo before that, I think it was a really hard baptism to come straight into that as your very first race under lights, pretty poorly lit, and then the energy of that first corner and all that kind of stuff that we just spoke about was just like, holy shit, like you're here, you've arrived. Like you
how
gotta,
was the rumour we heard as we were rolling out from Milton that all the barriers, the water-filled
Yeah,
barriers, were
leaking.
leaking across the road? I was like, water everywhere. I was like, sick. So it's going to be dark.
Yeah.
You got 105 guys
Black
chasing
ice.
for the corners in the dark, and there's water all over the white lines as well.
yeah, it was, mate, it was very nerve wracking.
Was it dry by the time you guys got there?
Yeah.
Largely.
Yeah.
You can thank the girls for that.
Yeah, they
There was still that one bit down the back straight.
Yeah.
Because it was dark, you couldn't see. And I'm not sure if it was a join in the road, but
No, it was a
that's where-
bump.
it was a bump. That's where the Brennan rider came down
Yeah.
and broke his collarbone.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It was right not far where you were standing at the start.
I don't
Alex
remember.
Baker got it on camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was only like 3 or 4 wheels back and he filmed it.
Yeah, it was pretty hectic.
I was actually going to ask, were there any crashes?
Yeah, there was a couple, I think.
I only saw one, I think.
I think there was one bad one,
Yeah.
and maybe some other smaller ones in there. I remember that happened a few wheels in front of me. Well, maybe not a few. I was at the very back.
We're just,
Where I
we're
belong.
just bouncing off, getting whipped around.
And there, I rode past, and there was a guy lying on his back holding his bike in the air.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Like a
cockroach.
yeah. That's exactly it. So
Dead wombat.
Not what you want on a Friday night.
who was that? That must have
I
been
actually
it.
don't know which one. Who it was from Brennan's.
That would have been the end of his weekend.
Oh mate, he was.
Oh, for sure.
So he was laying in the gutter, or the traffic island, if you want to call it that, the
Mm.
garden for the better part of half an hour.
Oh, you're joking?
Yeah, he was just laying
They
there
didn't-
with the ambos kind of on the other side. But yeah, they literally just moved him off the road and put him into the garden.
Wow.
They must have just skull dragged him off. Be like,
Yeah, literally.
Get off the road, brother. You can't stop the race. The boys are off.
It was a number of laps. So he was lying in the garden.
Yeah, it was, mate, a long time. I swear it was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was a lot of laps. Each time I went round, I was like, oh, still in the garden.
And sometimes you'd get that hole too, like that where he
If you're on the left, it was smooth, but if you're on the right,
it was sort of the middle
it
that
got
hole
worse
was.
there.
Yeah, he wanted to be on. Yeah, that second corner I thought was actually not too bad. I was able to make up a bit of space on a few positions on that corner. That second one, the top corner, if you want to call it that. You could really cut in late on that one and get a few spots. But then, yeah, for me, I just don't have that explosive speed coming out. So I'd lose a couple of spots, and then I'd gain a couple of spots in the corners, and then just yo-yo back and forth. So it was a really tough course.
So you couldn't carry momentum around the corners much.
You could, but it was actually just surprising how different that people's abilities around those corners in that peloton. Given how good people are at racing bikes, it was a serious amount of difference between people's abilities, and
Correct.
just depending on who you had around you at the time made a massive difference to what speed you had coming out, which is a really obvious statement, but it was quite obvious watching people's techniques and the lines they'd taken. You got to be careful because you follow someone's line quite a bit, and if you take that person's line who's done a shit job, you end up too wide and you're having to like almost feather the brake to not hit the barrier on the way out, or you've gone in too tight and you've lost too much speed and you've got people coming around the outside of you. So it was.
And instead of squirting 500 or 600 watts, you put in 8, 9.
Oh, jeez.
And we're just getting
Easy.
whipped. We're just
And that's-
getting whipped. We're in the worst. At the back, it was so much. Like, obviously, it was really hard because it was just every time you'd have to come out of those corners, you actually full gas, and then you get to the bottom and you're just starting to free wheel, and then you're back on it again.
Yeah.
Same thing again. So it was every 30 to 40 seconds.
Mate, I'll tell you what was impressive, seeing the brake take that last corner.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
It was like they were on rails.
Mate.
It was so cool to see.
How good did the Queenslanders go in that? So the guys in the break. So we've got Schultze,
Yep.
which shout out to Schultze moving back to Brisbane.
Yep.
How good,
Everyone's happy about that.
Yeah.
especially Cobra 9.
Just to make racing harder here, thanks.
Yeah.
It's good.
Brent Rees and Liam Walsh all did really well.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was cool to see.
So good watching those guys in the break, and then watching it back on TV was just as impressive.
No, Brent rode real well for the tandem boys. That race is designed for Brent.
You reckon?
Ah, yeah.
Mountain biker, the
Yep.
skills just to handle the corners.
Well, there was another mountain
Sprinting
biker
out of
in there
corners.
as well, wasn't there?
Scott Bowden.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Nico, you're a mountain biker.
Yeah, I was enjoying it. It's I think I've done a couple now. We did a hot dog crit at NRS 2022 or so. It was another one that was pretty fast, and then Noosa done that a couple times, or maybe just once. But yeah, the hot dog crits are
favourite.
you know you're alive. You get in that flow state, and it's like you just kind of forget how much everything hurts, and thinking about braking points, changing gears on the pedals. There's just so much going on. You really enjoy it if you.
You are riding a different race to me, mate. On those hot dog circuits, you are riding a completely different race.
Jim Bob just wanted to survive.
How'd you,
That's it,
Nico?
mate.
I struggled. I was like, starting really far back as well. I was just working really, really hard to get forwards. Caught Lambo at one point. I was like, oh, yeah, it's not a bad place to sit. And I think we moved forwards a little bit. But, yeah, it's just filthy hard. And
Sort of top third.
We finished about a pretty similar spot, didn't we? Like
Yeah,
30th or so, around the 30s.
yeah, we went too far off. So
Main bunch.
I had Whitey in the ear, obviously telling me that Elliot's up the road. So no need to stress out too much with it all and just sort of survive and get through. But, yeah, haven't done any practice for like that kind
Well, I
of
was just
racing
sort of
for a
saying
while.
to
Bang,
Shawnee
bang,
earlier,
bang.
like we haven't done it. I can't remember the last time we did a crit. Like we've been, obviously the cyclone washed out a fair bit. We had Grafton, training for Grafton. I don't think we had a Muzz or a Nunda for the better part of 4 weeks. So we haven't had any intensity.
Right, and intensity at that level too.
Oh, it's a whole nother level.
Mate,
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
like Twilight sort of level.
yeah, it was. It
Yeah.
was a twilight job.
Yeah.
Should we go from there to Saturday morning? And
It was a quick turnaround for you.
it was a very quick turnaround.
How'd you go getting to sleep that night? Just quickly on Friday night. I don't think I got home to about 9:30, 9:45, and then I was like, oh, I better walk the dog, and then otherwise I'll be up all night. We'll get to that cooking in a minute, and and then by the time I put my head down, I was like nearly at 11 o'clock, and then I was just laying there like, oh, geez,
Fully
I'm
wired.
pretty awake.
Yeah.
And I had no caffeine, so I was like about 11:30 before I got to sleep. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Yeah, same for me, mate. Yep, was not sleeping.
And then I was like,
trying to cold shower, just everything.
I was on edge, like I was waking up every hour, like just ready to go. Like it's ridiculous. Anyway,
Did you have caffeine before the crit?
No.
Any of us?
Don't
Just
need
a little
mate.
bit. Just a little
Yeah.
bit.
How much?
I can't even remember.
100
Maybe
milligrams.
60.
Okay. It's like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
I actually took my watch off after Saturday morning because my watch kept telling me you aren't recovered. I was like, shut up, man. I don't need to hear this. Just put it in my bag. I didn't wear it for the rest of the weekend. I was like, I'm just not dealing with
Mate,
that right
my
now.
Garmin stress score was as high as from Friday night was as high as Grafton was.
It was intense.
Well, if your heart rate was anything like Lambo's,
Yeah, it was.
It's understandable.
It was at I only nearly averaged 180. So yeah,
Jeez, that's your max, mate.
yeah, it's
We went from 5 or 6 hours sleep to rocking up at the individual time trial on Saturday morning.
with a point to prove.
You definitely had a point to prove, Freebs. You were down to put in a solid performance, my man. And you went and did, along with Lambo.
Yep.
Nico.
Lambo was definitely ride
Lambo
of
was
the day, I
incredible.
reckon.
Yeah, it was right the day. I thought Carell did a great ride too, just quietly.
100%.
Yeah, Carell did well. I think he got 12th, didn't he? And
Yeah, he was first off the rank, cab off the rank too, from memory.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he came through, and I was like, shit, because like a good time was going to be somewhere in the 11s. Right, that was the kind of the chat beforehand. And Carell came out and rolled out 11:46, I think it was.
Wow.
11:52, something like that. It was like high 11s, but it was like shit. Like it's already
Blew the doors.
it's already like
yeah.
shit. We're already in the 11s, but he's the first dude off. And I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be on. And he rode really well. And then obviously Lambo had a cracking ride.
Absolute blinder.
What was your time, Lambo?
what was it? 11:34.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And that got you fifth?
Sixth, I think.
Sixth.
I think it was sixth. Yeah.
Mate, that's incredible.
How many watts did you put down, Lambo? Or was it a
I
secret?
can't remember. No, it's not. I can't remember off the top of my head.
440, 430.
I think it was 450 AP, and then I think NP was more like 4 because it was quite punchy.
Yeah, it was.
And then like the downhills, I was just trying to like aero tuck on some of those. I think it was like 470 something.
Yep. That's
I think
impressive.
Corral was about the same. He said,
Beast.
He's a big boy.
yeah, he was pretty similar to get 12th there. So I don't know what those other guys were doing, especially the
Connor did 460, I heard.
Yeah.
He was about the same as he's only about 10 seconds in front of you.
Yeah, I think it was about 8 seconds off the podium.
Mate, it's
Which
freaking
is-
awesome ride, mate.
Yeah, it was a big surprise, and I think it was something that gave me a bit of confidence moving on through the tour. So it was really good TT. Course probably suited me as well, just those sort of punchy up and downs rather than like deadpan flat. But no, pretty stoked with that. It was a bit of a surprise when I finished. Didn't really know how I'd gone, and then I had a look on the results, and I was like sitting third. But at that stage, obviously,
That was still
the main guys hadn't gone through.
Yeah.
So yeah, to slip to 6, I was like pretty stoked.
It was awesome, mate.
Yeah.
Incredible ride. Nico, how'd you go, mate?
Oh, I think you're probably better off using the calendar app than the stopwatch to time my time trial. It was pretty terrible, but it looked cool. I got some nice deep 80mm foils from Tom and aero helmet from James Spinizza. So I looked the part, but yeah, just don't like TTs. I
All
don't know.
show, no go, mate.
Brain just doesn't like it. Legs don't like it. So I was happy to get through.
I would have thought that's pretty good. Like it's not a typical time trial, and there's a few little punchy climbs that might break it up a bit more for you. But
I think I just paced it all wrong and
Pacing
Didn't
was
fully
very
go
important,
into
that.
How
Totally.
did you pace it, Nico?
too slow, obviously. I
Yeah.
thought I was definitely spinning out on the way back, but probably maybe need to put it a little bit harder
Yeah.
up the hills.
It was a
to
it was a
counter
positive
that.
split. It was
Yeah.
I was 7 out, 5 back,
Yep.
which is a big difference. So yeah, you definitely had to squeeze it on the way out, and probably should have squeezed a little bit more out of yourself. But how did you go, Jim Bob?
Well, as you guys know, my aim for the weekend was self-preservation and try and save some bullets for the Saturday Arvo and Sunday morning road races. So we were sitting there with curbs beforehand trying to figure out how slow I could go and still make time cut. I went a little faster than what we calculated because obviously when you get out there and you're feeling not too bad, you're like, oh, well, I better press on here. But I didn't empty the tank by any stretch of the imagination, coming on 13 minutes, which I was pretty happy with.
That's
And
good. What was the pacing plan going to get you in at?
Well, I think we worked out 14 minutes was
Time cut.
about time cut.
Yeah.
And I saw Craig Wiggins, I think he come in 13:40 or something like
Yeah.
that. So he's paced it perfectly.
He has, yeah.
He's probably had a bit of practice at that though. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, we go. What a champion.
What a legend.
Didn't help him Sunday though.
Mate, we'll get to that. He was a great help on Sunday,
What
trust me.
happened on Sunday?
Just a legend.
Yeah, right.
We'll get to that.
Does he get a bit of an MVP award for
He
that?
does.
Yeah.
Best in feed zone.
Yeah, he was best in feed zone.
So, Freebs, tell us about your time trial. How did you attack it? You went through your warm up. Did you take any supplements? What was the setup?
Depot,
Like, let's start at the start and work through it, man. Because I know you put a lot of work into putting in a fantastic time.
Yeah, I was happy with my result. I think I could have done better. And I think I shared some of those comments with Lambo and a few other people like Schultz here and that. Just the lessons I've learned on the course. I think going out I could have done a bit more, and I certainly left too much in the tank on the way back. So anyway, that was kind of pacing. And then the off camber corner on the way back, I took it really poorly. Just went way too tight on it and lost a stack of time, like from early braking, but also just too tight and then too slow out of the corner because I lost too much speed. But how'd you guys find that corner, by the way?
Would be nice to rehearse it. Hey,
Yeah, we and shit. How useless are we? We live here and we didn't even freaking do a reco.
rehearsed Lakeside a number of times.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you go, Lambo? Did you rail that corner?
Nah, probably not as well as I could have had I ridden it before.
Yeah.
like the rest of you. But yeah, like last week after Lakeside, me and Jim Bob rode the north to south direction only, heading home.
Yeah.
But so we didn't really come back and get that corner.
No.
But for me, I think the worst pacing thing for me for that stage was coming back over the dam and up the pinch. I kind of forgot how much longer it was after that. I thought it was up the top and then you just roll down to the hill, but it was a bit of a false flat. Went a fair bit longer than I thought it was going to in my head. I'd just forgotten a fair bit of the course.
Yeah.
So there was 45 seconds of real serious pain there. Maybe a minute of really burying it.
Exactly. So probably cooked that a little bit. But no, that corner, hey, like I think if you'd rehearsed it and you'd got speed out.
I reckon it's 5 seconds there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
5 seconds?
Yeah, I reckon there's 5 seconds lost.
Yeah.
5 seconds is a long time, man.
Yep. I reckon it could even more because by the time
All
by the
exit
time you're braking into that corner, which was far too early from my perspective, taking the wrong line, missing the apex, and then trying to get out of it when you've lost all that speed.
And the extra watts you have to spend to get back
All
up
of
to speed.
All of that.
Fair shout.
So, interestingly, I chose a very different wheel selection to Nico. I went with the very shallow wheel, which was unusual for me. I did a 40-44 combination, and I was more focused on getting up the hill fast than I was coming down it fast because for me it doesn't make a huge difference on the speed on the way down, and there's not enough flat section to kind of get the bike up to speed. So I went with a really shallow wheel selection, which was, I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing in the end, but that was probably one thing that's interesting. I was pleased with it. Like Lambo said, I didn't come 6th, I came 29th, which was okay. It did give me a lot of confidence for the rest of the race, and I think that was a big thing for me. Lambo's got legs that would clearly come in the top bloody 3 or 4 for the whole weekend, but for someone like myself, that was a big confidence builder, and I really did build off the back of that for the next couple of days. So that was probably the best thing I got out of it.
I think especially after Friday night where we just didn't really have a chance, right? Like
Yeah.
you're at the back and you didn't get to move forward, you didn't really get to be part of the race. It was good kind of having that ITT to back up the next morning just to see where you're actually at, like a bit of a...
It's a really good marker
Bit
of
of a
where you
truth
are
serum,
compared to
yeah.
everyone else. Yeah, totally. And I guess we went from there to the raceway on Saturday Arvo, which was...
Hot.
It was hot, but it was sort of very familiar for most of us, wasn't it? Like I felt really comfortable rolling out there onto the raceway.
Oh, I'm glad we knew the course.
Cheer everyone to say it was meant to be flat course. That's all the race notes and the people were like, it's
Yeah, all the
flat,
interstate.
a flat raceway around Lakeside. It's like, there's about 2 hills.
Having
there.
100 though does make a big difference to the 20 we normally have.
you could feel it every time you went up the climb. Like when you're in the Palo there and you're just rolling into that climb, you're freewheeling and you're getting half of it for free. So
Yeah, it made a big difference.
yeah, it did.
I might have snuck a com too, just quietly.
What com's that?
Lakeside com.
As in like the entire loop,
yeah, the
or
entire
just
loop.
the berg?
The whole loop.
Was that just sitting at the back and then worked your way to the front accidentally?
Yeah. Yeah, accidentally is definitely the way to put it. But anyway, I'll hold that, and I reckon that'll take a while to get
Yeah, I
knocked
don't
off,
think they'll be
probably.
getting beaten anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, what are the stats on the com? What's your speed for
I
it?
think it was like, hold fire, keep talking, and I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So that race was, the Saturday Arvo was pretty spicy for the first, was it about 50 minutes or an hour before the break actually went? And Lambo, you were in that break. You'd tried a few times before that to get up the road, and obviously the bunch really wasn't keen until everyone got sort of tired enough. And they're like, right, let's settle down now. That they sort of let the break get established.
Yeah, I think that's right. Like, they had a couple of goes up the road. Was it initially with you, Nick?
Oh yeah, I got one with you. I think we did like 2 laps, and I was kind of just trying to help set up something for everyone else. And we were going there for a little while, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a long way to go, and Lambo is going to tear my legs off if someone doesn't come across shortly. And I think it was the counter that went after that, which you got in again, and then Elliot and a couple other, or maybe Elliot didn't get in at first time. I think Jake from Comedown got in there, and then Elliot got dragged across with by Liam Cuthbertson.
Yeah, he did.
A bit later on. So I think that's kind of how it went. But yeah, it took a while for the elastic to snap.
Absolutely. Liam did a really good sort of bridging move there to actually get Schultze across. It was really impressive. So he's launched it out of the pillow, almost slingshotted him up the hill, but he made a comment after the race, and I'm sure he won't mind us saying this, where he was like, I was holding back a little bit when I first jumped because I didn't want to ride Schultze out of the wheel. We all were like,
yeah, righto,
mate. You can ride, mate, but I don't know that you're riding Schultze out of the wheel, man. He's
25 kilos lighter than you too.
Yeah, and he's held onto a few wheels in his time. He knows how to do it.
No, that's good.
So,
Johnny, to answer your question.
yes.
Lap record, LS crit lap. I did 2 minutes, 35 seconds.
Yep.
And I did 53 k's an hour.
Wow.
That's pretty spicy, mate.
That's pretty fast. I saw the average speed was 45.9 or 46k an hour, which is just rapid for Lakeside. That's got, 1,000 metres of climbing as well.
Yeah, it was. It was like 40 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Anzac 25.
Mate, it was 1,200, 1,100.
Yeah, Anzac 25 feels long, but this felt...
Oh, mate, I was getting bored.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I hate going around in circles. It does my head in.
Yeah.
I was pretty wrecked at the end of it, to be fair.
Lambo wasn't bored.
Nah, but he loves Lakeside.
That's because he was up the road trying to rip everyone's legs off and take the win.
Yeah, he was.
So
and bloody hell,
got
did he
third.
do a good job.
Yeah, no, it was probably the ride of my career so far, if I'm being honest. Big surprise, but like you boys said, just knowing the course I think helped, and also once that break went, knowing the quality of riders in there with Schultze and Liam, and thinking that Brennan's tactic was they wanted a break to go. So
Yeah.
Once you had enough numbers and there was teams represented that weren't Brennan and weren't Butterfields, it was kind of a bit of a nod to, hey, this could be the move of the day.
Yeah, it was. Brennan almost basically just said, off you go. We'll just maintain this so you don't come and lap us, and it's yours.
There's quite a bit of time in the break there where it was really dysfunctional and we were noodling around.
Yeah.
And we weren't getting caught. Like,
Mate, we were getting like crescendoed. Like it was literally, it would get some speed up, and then on the hills, because they were riding single file, it just literally just bottleneck completely, and then we'd be back like doing literally like 2 k's an hour up the hill, like almost truck standing.
Yeah. And I think that kind of reflects that they really just were trying to neutralise anyone else getting across. But I mean, in the break, like, it was pretty hard. There were times there where you were working, and there were times where people weren't, and other people were trying to attack, and you had the intermediate sprints and things breaking everything up. So
Hectic.
yeah, it was pretty hectic. And there's always people that not wanting to work there in the break and open up gaps. And, you know, the feed zone as well was a place I almost got dropped from the break, trying to get a bottle, and then someone else trying to get a bottle and not wanting to, you know, pull over, close wheels, etc. So no, it was a tough day out. But yeah, Schultze, it was just one of those times that he just attacked when everyone else was sort of like looking at each other, and then no one wanted to chase and follow it.
He's a master of that.
He is. He just knows when to turn the screws. Like, it had just been hard. I think I'd closed a lot of gaps, and I was like, nah, I need to save some bickies. It's still half an hour to go or something.
Yeah.
And he just kept rolling. Didn't really attack as much, just kept rolling off the front. No one wanted to follow the wheel, apart from Tyne and Shannon. And they just rode away as a two while everyone sort of just freewheeled, and then by the time everyone started working again, those two were working together, and they were
Gone.
They were gone, yeah.
At which point in the race did that happen?
Last quarter.
From memory, yeah, probably was. It was probably like the last...
half an hour, yeah.
Not even.
Not even, I don't
20.
think, hey.
Yeah, right.
Like, I think it was less than 10 laps to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they were off the front for a while then, just the two of them.
Yeah, it was probably like 8. I think it was
They
about
were
eight,
like yo-yoing,
laps
though.
to go, I think. Yeah, just the two of them. And no one else could really get a proper chase going from behind. A
Wow.
mixture of like obviously not wanting to drag other people, too many people to be functional.
It actually looked like from the bunch that they were putting time into you slowly, just because it looked like the chase in the break was a little bit dysfunctional, like you say.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. It's probably almost just like a mini version of what's happening back in the Palo. Like there'd be surges and then it would stop, and surges and it would stop. But they just kept kind of like pressing on. Those two are probably swapping off quite nicely.
Yeah,
And
makes a big difference.
yeah, just makes a difference at the end there when everyone's tired.
And then Schultze obviously got rinsed in the
Didn't
in
even
the
try.
sprint.
Didn't even try.
I think he conceded to those quads from that. What's his name? Shannon Tynan or Tynan
Big
Shannon?
Tyrone.
Tyrone.
He did well though, man. He got to some of the intermediate sprints. I tried to go for the first one in lap 30, I think it was, 30 to go. And he'd rolled over me pretty easy, like the half effort sprint and just straight past. So
The
the guy's got some watts, I think.
the old
Lambo.
Nick Pedler just stand up and just sort of
Bum,
push and just like
1, 2.
I think Jordan Kirby is probably the one that dishes it out to most
The
of us.
Grandmaster.
Back when he was racing, just sit down
Grandmaster.
and sprint past everyone on the last lap at Muzz.
surely he's making a comeback soon.
I hope so.
It's good to see him out with the ARA team.
It was very good.
Lambo, did you use some local knowledge on that final sprint?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I've been in that situation a few times where you're coming down on the hill, you've got a lot of speed.
Momentum?
Yeah.
It was a tailwind too.
Yeah, it was actually. And you actually can't be too far back.
You need to be second wheel minimum. Sorry,
Yeah.
like you can't be any further than second wheel.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I sort of just tried to keep the speed going down there because I've been in the past where you think it's a normal finish and you don't want to be the one to go first, and you just lose too much speed.
Yep.
So I just kept the momentum going and shot out early, which just paid off. Just.
By Bee's dick.
Oh,
So can you walk us through that sprint, Lambo? I think you said it started back up the hill and there was a bit of jostling for a certain wheel. So just walk us through that part there, mate.
Bit of headbutting.
yeah. No, I received a few headbutts. I think it was about 3 in a row from
Jeez.
one of your teammates.
Young Jakey.
I'm gonna try that next time on Lambo. See if it works.
Yeah.
So Jakey's such a nice guy. I can't believe he's pulling these sorts of stunts.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
He's such a quiet kid and so humble. And
So whose wheel was he fighting for?
He wanted Ollie Stenning's wheel.
Oh,
He thought
yeah.
that was the wheel to be on going into the sprint.
So did you.
It was just a wheel in front of me, mate. I was like, I'll just slot in here. But he wanted it more than me. He had it, which is fine. Just didn't need to give me the headbutts, I don't think. But
Yeah.
that's okay. There's lots of room on Lakeside, so just let him go in and, yeah.
Just roll him.
Yeah.
so next time, Jakey, just tell Lambo that's my wheel, man, and he'll probably
let you have it.
He'll probably just give it to you and then just come off your wheel. So
I will. Nah, it was funny, man. Had a bit of a laugh with him afterwards about it. So, nah, it was all good. Like you said, he's a good guy. But that was my first interaction getting headbutted. So,
you're like, Jake,
It's a
nice
funny
to meet
one.
you, brother.
yeah.
Don't do that again. Oh, that was Lakeside.
Oh yeah, wasn't it just?
Props
Right
to
on,
Lambo.
Lambo.
Massive
Third
congrats,
place, mate.
That's
Moves him up on GC as well.
Yeah. No, thanks, boys.
Where were you sitting after that Lakeside?
I think it was 6th.
Okay.
I think I went into round 4 with being 6th. Yeah, I don't know what the time gaps were. I can't remember. Like,
Couldn't have been
you
a lot.
got home and you just kind of cooked from the day,
Yeah.
and you're straight back into like, here's kids, here's everything else, and so like in between the ITT and the road race, had to go home for a parental shift of like 5 hours, playground, all that sort of stuff. So it's like it doesn't stop. I wasn't
tough.
really.
How'd you sleep, mate? Did you sleep all right?
It was okay, mate. It wasn't the best, to be honest. I was woken up a couple of times by the little fella.
Yeah,
Came into bed with me and
that happens, mate.
all that sort of stuff.
How
So.
about you, Freebs? Did you get any interruptions?
Yeah, I didn't have the greatest sleep, much to Cookie's surprise.
What's the story here?
Oh, mate, the big fella didn't take it very kindly when I suggested I was up since 3 o'clock, tendering to my crazy cavoodle dog that just is probably more crazy than the kid, I reckon. And anyway, he didn't find the funny side of it. He was obviously up all night himself.
He wasn't even racing.
Apparently, he was put out by it.
I believe the comment was you can't talk about a dog when all of us guys have kids.
Oh,
The old fur baby versus human baby.
Yeah.
Freebie's dog gets special treatment. I heard it was running amok down at Grafton in the feed zone. I'm not taking my dog in 5 hours in the car, so
Yeah.
must be a pretty special dog.
no, it's just no one to look after it. Maybe you could, Nico, next time.
Anyway, so there was no dog on the start line for stage 4,
Thank
was there?
God.
Which started on a grass paddock, didn't it, on Sunday morning, and everyone was getting grass all through their cleats and all over their bikes, and Freebs was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to park around the corner where there's a car park. And
I wasn't happy about it.
how was the feels coming into that one? I was pretty wrecked by that point. I'm not going to lie. I was definitely feeling 2 days of full solid racing in my legs by then.
For sure, man. Like my racing schedule since having kids like 4 years ago has pretty much been a 1 hour race once a week called a crit. And here we are, like
Intensity.
Stage 4. I was pretty wiped day. Like I could have been quite happy just to have a day off the tools that day, but legs came right actually once we got into it.
Absolutely, man. I don't think we ever do back-to-back hard days these days. So to have 3 days of racing in a row, I was ready to pull the pin.
Yeah, my Garmin was like, I don't know, the stress score was like 700 and something each, and it was the same each day. Like literally the amount of stress was the same.
You should actually be dead is what your Garmin's telling you.
Yeah,
it's like stop.
96 hours of recovery.
Yeah.
It doesn't go any further than that.
Is that in the black zone?
Yeah, it was basically gone from red to black.
But to be fair, when we got to the start line for Sunday, I actually felt a lot more comfortable being in that bunch than I did in the first few days of the week. Sort of found myself moving up through the bunch much easier and then filtering back and then moving up and sort of rolling with the flow.
Mate, you were
better.
famous on Sunday.
Not as famous as you, Freebs.
Nah, mate, you got more TV coverage than anyone else.
I don't know, man. Okay. I didn't make the break and spent a lot of time sitting at the back, mostly because I was pretty wrecked. And I actually bumped into the Wang, and me and Wang were surfing through the same part of the Pello for a fair bit. And he's like, man, I've been cramping since like
Lap 5.
Lap 5. And I was like, mate, I've been cramping since lap 3, but this isn't a competition as to who can cramp first. I think what was common between the two of us is we were both super, super wrecked.
Mate, it was a competition for the silver jersey.
Yeah.
They need to bring that in.
Oh, we're going to have to get a custom one made up.
So do we talk about this now, the silver jersey?
Why not?
Yeah.
They'll do
Okay.
something like that for Southlands.
Well, there's only two people
that.
that qualify for the silver jersey.
That's exactly where it comes from, the silver jersey.
Yeah. Well, isn't Southlands over 35 though?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the boys.
So
We'll let you in. We'll let you in.
Lambo would have won it.
He would have.
Yeah.
If it was like the one that Wang and I were going for, which was over 40s.
You can't just take the ball, mate. You can't just take the ball and leave. The rules is over 35. You've come second and I've come third, and the Wang has
DNQ'd.
Yeah.
Did not finish. DNF, sorry.
DNF.
We just need some Fondo age group categories here.
Mate,
They were pretty keen not to do that. It's an under 19 kind of
for sure.
under 23.
The Wang was talking big game on Friday night.
He was.
Oh, mate.
He was rubbing my nose in it, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
What was the chat? Was he throwing it down to Freebs?
Oh, yeah. Freeb's going to be out lap 2 of the crit.
Which, to be fair, mate, you rode one of the best races I've seen you ride on that Friday night. You hung so tough, man.
It was 'cause he
It was
shaved his
super
arms.
impressive.
Mate, I was in the box, literally from lap 2.
Anyway, so back to the Sunday roadie. It was fairly on for the first 3 or 4 laps, wasn't it? I thought it took 3 laps for the break to go.
Second lap, I think.
Nah, it's like
Was
just
it
the
second?
first lap, I reckon,
Was
was
it
a bit on. Then after that, I'm pretty sure they went at the end of the first lap, didn't
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it was real early on.
No, it was definitely
it was
a
little bit
couple of
later than
laps.
that. It was-
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's when you came across.
Yeah, you were in the first move with 4,
Yeah,
and then I rode across with Connor Lay.
exactly.
Like maybe a couple of others.
We'd already done 2 laps at least by then.
Yeah.
I remember I was like seeing Schultzy move up through the bunch, and he wasn't even riding on the road. It was like in the bush,
Yep.
Cross country.
cross country. He just like launched through the bush up this hill, just slungshot from the back.
Just
Mate,
surfing gravel.
I have got something in my shopping cart tonight that Schultz is going to love. It's going to suit him perfectly. I'll get him a set.
All-terrain wheels.
All-terrain wheels. It's like beach buggy stuff.
Are you sure he didn't have those on? Because
He might have had them on,
Maybe he
mate.
did.
He's happy to go wherever it has to.
he knows how to get in a move, though, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So, Freebs, you got in the move of 4 that went away, and then that move obviously swelled.
Yeah, I thought we were away. Honestly, I thought the 4 of us were home and hose and we're going to...
Who was in the initial 4?
Oh, shit, don't ask me. An ARA kid.
Yep.
Someone from Guest Picks.
Yep.
Velofit rider.
And a VeloFit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The VeloFit rider that
He was strong.
took it to the line pretty well.
Yeah, I think it was him.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the 4 of us were going right and we were working reasonably well. All of a sudden, Peds is here and Connolly and about 15 other people. And I'm
Yeah.
like, shit.
But that's good because you got a bigger bunch. You can sit in now.
You'd think so. You'd think so, but there was a lot of passengers.
A lot of passengers because Freebs was on the front.
So what happened, mate? How many C9 boys ended up in that break?
There was 4 of us.
That's a solid effort.
Was that a team plan going in, like just getting numbers up the front of the race, or it just happened that way? No one wanted to miss out.
Definitely
Everyone was
wanted
frothing for a last.
Yeah, definitely wanted people in the break. Being 25% of the break probably wasn't the plan. But
Whole team in the break.
yeah, just about. Wasn't probably the plan. But again, Brennan were racing to. They say. I mean, if you listen to Tim's commentary on the actual in the velo phone or whatever they call it, he was saying they were happy.
Velo phone.
What do they sing? Those
On the broadcast, they were crossing.
they call it the
to
velo
live.
something. What do they call it?
Yeah, it was the velo
It
phone.
is a velo phone.
Okay.
Keep up, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Anyway, so
Go sit in the corner.
Tim was saying that they were happy to win it, but they were going to let Butterfields kind of do a fair bit of work because they wanted to just mark and obviously Jack to make sure he won the stage, but also won overall. So it was kind of like left to Butterfields for a lot to chase from watching the replay back.
It felt like Butterfields was on the front from when you guys went through to maybe lap 8. They hosed through all their guys, man. I remember sitting there and watching just Butterfields guys coming back through the Pello as they were getting hosed.
They kind of had to, though, right? Like the other ones that were in the position, they had to do something. Brennan already had like a comfortable lead in the overall, so balls in their court to do something. Good on them for giving it a go.
Absolutely, man. Similar to you boys in the break, to be fair.
Yeah, well, Elliot sort of must have been like we'd done one lap as a group, and I'd been away in that 4 for a bit before everyone came across. So I was when they all came across, I was a bit gassed, and then Elliot's just gone to me, mate. Any chance you can just ride yourself into the ground on this thing and just get us the best we possibly can and see if we can get the win for the weekend. And I was like, mate, I've got no chance of winning, so I'll absolutely do that for you. And just rode as fast as I could for as long as I could. And then Big Nico jumped on the front after that and just pumped away there. It was, good to watch.
After watching that coverage on the trainer this morning, you were absolutely burying it in the coverage, and I was like, man, Nico is like, very rarely do I see you with a pain face.
Mate, smiling.
It was written all over your face. You were absolutely hosing it. It was so good to see.
Definitely went through a few stages there. I was like an hour in, and I was like, already starting to cramp. Had to pop a cramp fix, get some ice bottles, just throw it down the legs. Took like an easy lap and then revived myself. And I think, I was hung on with the front group right up until Jake went off the front. And then I was like, all right, we'll just turn it off and sit in now. And then just at the end, Whitey said, just try and do a burner. Get the brake group that Elliot was in just as fast as you can to the base of the climb. But as soon as they got to the front, everyone rolled around. But I was full of cramps. I was dying by then. But that was like 2.5 hours at 4 watts a kilo.
Oh, man.
That was, filthy hard. I was barely even going to make it up the hill. I was like zigzagging up Campbell's Pocket. Easiest gear, just not thinking about racing, just thinking about moving forwards.
Well, nothing can beat Jim Bob's performance up Campbell's Pocket.
Mate, so...
Take us through it, Jim Bob. I got the shock of my life. I mean, I was so sideways at the point. I could have literally nothing was going to surprise me, and then all of a sudden...
Then boom.
Oh, Jim Bob, talk me through it.
All right, yeah.
What did I see?
Okay, so look, let me take you back a little bit. I remained in the Pello where it was nice and safe for the majority of the race until Brennan come to the front at the end of the second last lap and the start of the last lap. Over the comm was where I got shelled when Brennan were really lining it out, and I fully cramped, everything locked up. I rolled down the hill like with locked up legs, and I was like, I'm going to be lucky not to crash here. Anyway, so I've kept it upright, and there was a bro from Guest Picks rolled up next to me, and he's like, oh, should we just like swing off and like park it? And I was like, nah, man, we didn't come all this way to not finish. So we roll the next lap. And
was that the Wang?
No, it wasn't the Wang. He was a pretty big guy. I don't know his name. Can't remember his number. Anyway, we rolled the last lap together, and then we started going up the comm, and I just fully locked up. Everything just started cramping, and I had to stop, and he sort of kept going, and I'm unclipped on the side of the road trying to stretch out these cramps.
Is this up Campbell's Pocket?
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, so I've passed. Liam's coming back the other way.
Not a good spot to unclip either.
Liam's going back the other way, and he sort of looks like, no, I'm not bothering riding up the hill. Anyway.
Liam Walsh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, I got a little further, and I cramped again, and I was like, nah. stuff this. I can't, I was in my smallest gear. I was doing full zigzags across the road. I was like, this is going to take me an hour to get me to the top. I actually should have done the Conor Leahy and just walk up. It would have been faster. Anyway, so I spin around and I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm going home. And I start riding down the hill, and then Freebs comes past. I can see him coming towards me in a group of 4, and I was like, nah, Freebs is still going. I've got to keep going, man. Anyway, so I've turned around and started going up behind him, and another 2 times my legs fully locked up and I'm stopped on the side of the road. I'm nearly crying, man. I'm in so much pain.
He looked so broken when I saw him.
Did Freeb stop with you and do a bit of...
No, I didn't know he was coming back.
Riding off into the distance.
I didn't realise he'd turn around again.
Brah.
Hold the shoe.
I'm like, mate, there's no way he's going down. He's going to come back up. Like, that's just that's unheard of.
So, this is the culmination of the weekend of fatigue. And everything's
Intensity.
just fallen apart. Anyway, I got to the top, and everyone's like, oh, you're okay. And I don't think I said a word to
No, he
anyone.
didn't. Nah, you just had a coconut water.
Yeah, and...
I don't think you spoke, because you drove out, you gave me a ride out and back. I don't think you spoke to me till an hour post-race.
Yeah.
You're a shell.
Yeah.
I was the same.
There wasn't a lot happening upstairs, mate. You know, when people are like, what are you thinking about? You're
Just
like,
see the
"Mate,
light switch on.
there's
at Macca's,
nothing.
Nah.
There's nothing going on in there, mate. You can turn a light on in there. There's just someone in the dark inside my head, mate.
There's like
There's
a fly
a
buzzing around.
great picture of you when your just soul has left your body.
Yeah.
You're just in a chair, in a shell.
I think that's probably a really good way to describe it, Lambo. You've nailed it. Anyway, so that was peak performance for me. Lambo, do you want to run us through the tandem tactics? Because they were almost at complete odds with the Cobra 9 tactics. So the Cobra 9 tactics were 4 guys in the break. We're going to try and win this race. We're going to go full aggressive. But then the tandem tactics were almost the complete opposite of that. And you guys have ended up getting probably the result of the weekend, taking out the teams class.
Yeah. So
run us through that, man.
before the race, Rhino was like, well, you're 5th on GC going in. If you get into a move easy, go for it, but don't try and force it. Don't burn biscuits trying to get across into a breakaway. So that was kind of like, all right. He's like, just chill the first lap, get a feel for it, see how it goes. And, Brent being Brent, he was quite high up on GC as well. But, man, he can get in a move so easy. He just slipped off the front, just got pulled across as well into that same breakaway. So that was kind of the perfect situation for us, having Brent who can actually climb. That sort of climb is punchy, whatever it was, like a 6-7 minute climb, 8 minute climb, 20 if you're Jim Bob, and you're doing it 3 times. But yeah, it was a perfect situation for us. We had him up the front there, and in the breakaway, if that went, he was going to move well up on GC, get some good team points. And then we had a few young boys as well. So we had Fletcher, who was going into that last round second on under 19.
Made for him too.
Yeah. So he can climb, he can ride, as we all know. And then Lachlan Panesi also under 19.
He looked really good.
He's been riding really well. Hey, he's been having some good results. He's super strong in some of the team rides we did. When we did the Brookie Chop, he was one of the last ones right there at the end as well for a little guy. And yep. So we're backing Fletcher, Lockie, and their job was really just to sort of sit in, and we knew that Brennan and Butterfields were probably going to want to have their top 2 climbers going toe to toe, going into it towards the hill there. So if a break was going to go, it was touch and go whether it was actually going to stay away. I think they wanted to get to the top of the hill first and try and win that last stage. So yeah, for us it was kind of just sit in the break. I mean, not in the break, sorry, in the pillow, and just try and keep our powder dry really for that last climb. I felt pretty terrible on the 10 laps before, though, to be honest. It wasn't until I got to the base of the climb that I actually started feeling good when it was time to go.
Man, you
control.
absolutely hosed it up the hill, and you've come in 6th place or 5th stage. Sorry, 5th on the stage.
7th on the stage in the end,
and 5th overall.
and 5th overall in GC. Yeah,
Incredible.
Man,
What a performance.
That's unreal.
yeah.
The old fellas.
Yeah, no, it was a really good ride. I'm proud of that one. Close to getting on 3rd on GC overall, which I never would have expected to have been close. once again, probably should have just had a look at how close things were up there before the race. But
How far off third were you?
I think it was 7 seconds. So yeah, it was pretty tight. But like that top three are quality riders, right?
Oh, mate.
Like you got.
So are you though.
Yeah. Don't underestimate yourself, mate.
But yeah, overall, I didn't know until we got back to the showgrounds that Tandem won the overall teams class, which is pretty special.
That's incredible.
Man, that's so good.
Yeah.
Against Team Brennan, Butterfields,
It is, and they obviously had different tactics.
They were burning
in,
matches, mate.
They were. So they weren't trying to get their top 3 riders counting and things. But still, I think for like a small local team like Tandem,
Take that.
who aren't one of the Pro Velo teams, they haven't gone to a lot of the rounds. And there's a few young guys in there, and they credit to them as well. They did really well. A few of the young boys, they held position well. They helped us out in the last round, got bottles, covered moves, did all sorts of stuff. So it was really cool that as a whole team we got to go and step up on the podium there at the end.
That's so good, man.
Yeah, everyone's buzzing, eh?
Such a good result.
Well, all that was all positive. I got one thing I got a bone to pick, and that bone's with Matilda. I was listening back to the coverage, and on about lap 8, I might have been doing a bit of work off the back, trying to just survive. And then all of a sudden, she's decided to drop the phrase, Andrew Freeby's just dagging off the back.
Oh.
Just dangling up there like a big turd off the back of a sheep's ass. And
or a snake off your seat rail.
Or a snake off your seat rail. I've taken offence to that. I really did. But
You were
anyway.
going back for a bottle, weren't you?
Oh, of course I was.
She's like, what do you like? And he spent the first 5 or 6 laps in that break absolutely burying it for the boys.
I was saying, that doesn't feel like a very fair representation of what actually happened out there. But anyway,
Probably did look like
if I see it like sheep down there later in the year, I'll remind her of it.
You probably did look like a dag after just
Yeah, I did.
smashing
I felt like a
yourself
dag.
for 5 laps.
Anyway, that was funny.
To be fair, Freebs, I've actually got the same gripe with you. I think the weekend of racing was run really well. I think all the riders have turned up and given their best. I think all the team management and support staff have given their best. And I thought that the TV commentary actually dropped the ball as far as the event goes. It's a really big job that the TV commentary take, and it basically is the link between the sport and the event that we're putting forward and the TV audience. And I think they've done a lot of teams a disservice and a lot of riders a disservice by not being fully across all the teams and all the riders. And I know it's really difficult to be across the domestic scene, but even just understanding where the teams are from, who they're made up of, and who the key riders are for even just the Pro Velo teams. So Cobra 9, they've muffed it so many times. They've called us a Sydney team. They've called us a team of composite riders from all over Australia. There's only 2 riders in that team that aren't from Queensland, and one's from Coffs Harbour, and Ollie Sims is from Tasmania, and Whitey's from Tasmania, and that's why he got Ollie in there. And nothing sort of leads to this point more than the fact that young Jakey on that stage 4 was in a break of 2 with a guy from Guest Picks coming into that final climb, and they had still plenty of time on the bunch. And for the 5 minutes, or it might have even been 3 minutes before that, they didn't mention the 2 teams and they didn't mention the 2 riders. They were busy talking about Jack Wood, Zach Marriage, Butterfields and Brennan.
And those 2 riders were putting on an absolute show.
Mate, they were...
Absolute show, turning themselves inside out into the final stage of the final climb. It's pretty impressive.
Mate, the performance that they were putting forward was so impressive. And they couldn't be bothered to mention the team or the riders. And Jake's not like... It's not like he's come out and that's his first big performance. At Grafton to Inverell, he's been performing well. Every round he's been at...
Better and better from the start.
He's been putting down massive performances. So I don't think it's a surprise that, like, how can they not know something about him after 6 rounds?
But they got a rider list there too, and he's wearing a number. It's not hard to be like, oh, number whatso is Jake.
Yeah,
Yep.
look, it'd be bloody hard. It's a lot to know.
It's a lot to know, but I'll tell you what, Keenan does a good job with the Tour de France, and he knows every rider inside out.
He did a good job in Milan San Remo too.
Oh, didn't he? What? We'll get onto that.
But as well, so that was the whole value proposition for Pro Velo was they wanted to bring sponsors to it and bring money to it so that we can put forward this high class event. And if you're not going to even mention the sponsors' names and the teams' names for aren't the top 2 teams, then what are the other guys doing there?
Correct.
There's no value proposition for them at all.
No.
So I think they need to do better. That's the one sort of sore point from the weekend.
Well, I saw Burgess and his bike did that reel. It got some good traction, actually, didn't it?
Mate, I reckon that did more for the sponsors than anything that the commentators have put forward for the whole series. Like, I thought that was really good the way he went and did that.
Yeah.
Like, the sponsors do so much, and you see how much time and effort, even Whitey, how much time and effort and money has gone into that. And it's not just Whitey, there's a lot of other guys behind the scenes that make that happen. I think they can do better for the sponsors next year.
I must admit, it was cool on the Friday night crit. That was good for cycling. It was
Bringing it to the people.
It was a great atmosphere, and like also there were people there just having dinner with their families, and there's a bike race going on, and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And it looked
cool.
It was proper professional too.
Man, a number of the interstate riders said to me how good this round was. They loved Q Tour.
Yeah, like
I loved it.
Looking from the outside in, it looked like the best run tour out of the whole lot too.
Oh, mate, it was sensational
Yep.
to be a part of.
Yeah,
It was fantastic.
I'm actually glad they did the Campbell's Pocket course
Way better still.
instead of the Debra course, which was initially planned.
It's a super deserving
Yes.
green stage.
Absolutely.
At the end of a tour like
Yeah,
that. And obviously,
hilltop finish.
It was only
The
bloody
show-
2,000 metres. It was
Yeah.
a big day out.
Yeah.
and obviously the show, the spectacle of the two key riders of the whole 6 stages
Comes down to that.
comes down to
Exactly.
that,
So good.
going head to head
Yeah.
on a 17%
Couldn't-
gradient.
Couldn't
Yeah.
ask for better.
It's like Pog versus Vinegard.
Yeah.
Pog versus MVDP.
Oh, yeah. Milano San Remo. What a race.
Oh, my Lord.
Should we get on to the big
Yeah,
dance,
mate.
or was Q2 the big dance? We're going to the little dance now.
Depends whose lunchbox.
But hey, I'm going to give myself some credit here. I picked the top 3, didn't I? Hey?
I think you did, mate. I think you did.
I got a message from Reese Robotham actually giving me some praise. He goes, mate, that's incredible that you picked that.
Did you get it in order?
I think I had it.
I think I did.
I just missed out
Yeah.
on Little Trek from
Mads Pedersen.
Mads.
Mads, yeah.
I had Mads down as my other podium, but he was struggling a bit this time.
Speaking of Reese, he looks like he's back on the bike.
He said he rode 4 days this year
This year.
But 3 of those were last week.
in a row.
Yeah.
One of them in Campbell's pocket.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a Revolut.
That's training, mate.
The boy's back
We'd love to see him back racing bikes.
We would.
in the C9 outfit.
Look out.
He's getting ready for Pro Velo next
Mate,
year.
we're recruiting hard at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
You should be worried.
I
Mate,
don't think Shorty's worried about anything, mate.
He's lucky to get out of bed at the moment.
I'm loving the sleep-ins. Someone's got to do it. Anyway, let's get to...
The Capresa.
Cipressa.
Cipressa. That's where it all took off. Bloody, I'll tell you what, Poggy, he flew up there, mate. He bloody flew up there. 38k an hour,
That's ridiculous.
4% climb, 9 minutes he did it in.
Mate, I was watching that.
What was the comp before that?
I think it's 920.
Did Plappy have it or someone? Was it?
Oh, I don't think Plappy
No.
had that. I think it was like 920, but UAE, I watched behind the scenes they released the other day about it, and they were actually planning, we're going to take the com on the Cipressa. And lo and behold, they did. And I tell you what, MVDP can suck a wheel, can't he?
Mate.
Holy Jesus.
And he can nose breathe that thing too.
Oh, mate. How about his grab for the water bottle whilst Poggy's attacking up, was it the Poggio?
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
He can not only suck a wheel though. Like he came over the top.
Oh, mate, it was incredible.
He's like, watch this, Pog.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Pog's been good so far, but he's not as good as he was last year.
Oh, he hurt his hand, remember it?
I don't know, mate.
Nah, mate, he was doing that shit 100 k's out, mate, and then flogging everyone. Like he hasn't dropped people this year
Mate,
like
they
he has in the
put
past.
a minute into everyone on the Cipressa.
You got to look at the
3 of them though.
You got to look at that course though. Like, is it a course for Poggy?
No. It's a course for Mathieu. He's won it 2 times. 3 times?
2, I believe.
And
Yeah.
the other times he hasn't, it's more like Jasper Philipsen's cleaned up his scraps.
Yeah. So that was Alperson's
Scraps.
third win in a row at Milano San Remo. So,
His dad won it, and his grandfather won it back in the 60s as well.
yep.
Groves came in 5th, didn't he? For
Groves was very impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
5th.
and Bling 4th.
Blink
Yeah,
4th.
yeah.
Pretty good from the Aussies.
They must have had some spicy pasta again.
The Aussies are back. It was a good race to watch. How was the bloody weather difference? It's like you know,
actually,
the start was like snowing basically, and then just pissing with the rain. They get to the coast and it's dry.
you know the most impressive thing about the bloody race?
Jackets on, jackets off.
Nah, Poggy's worn all black at the start, and then he's wearing all white at the end. How the hell
Wardrobe
did he
change.
change his nicks? how did he put a skin suit on?
Surely he's got longs over the top.
It was just longs over the top, wasn't it?
He's just got 2 sets, mate. The top one's just Velcro and rip off.
Does he have like?
Like the old kappa
like
pants.
Is he running? Is he running a double
Fresh
chamois
studs.
or a chamois-less? Is he running a chamois-less over
You just need one.
Mate, it's 300 Ks. I'm wearing double chamois.
double chamois?
Yeah, bro.
Jeez, hope he brought an Allen key to adjust his seat post.
At least 5 mil. Maybe he's down to 160s.
Mate,
So, do you reckon they're stopping on the side of the road,
had to.
taking their kit off, throwing it in the car, and then getting going again? Or
How do you take your pants off without uncle?
Yeah, but mate, you're not going to get them back on. Like, how do you get wet? Like, if you're wet from being like rained on for 5 hours,
Yeah.
It sticks to you so bad.
mate, you can't put those things back on. Same
Well,
if
yeah.
you're sweaty. Like, they don't. It's not going back on.
Mate, maybe he had the porn star pants and
Already,
ripped them off.
no, you had the Kappa press studs.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, the old
Just full,
is
full
Kappa
walk style.
Is Kappa sponsoring UAE now?
You'd have a set of those, wouldn't you, Freebs?
No, I actually never got into those.
Oh, you seem to know a lot about him.
Oh, mate, that was my era.
You old fart.
Silver jersey, mate.
Silver jersey. But how about Ganno hitting 1650?
That's incredible. And he did,
In
and he
the-
didn't even like gain any territory on
No.
NVDP. Like,
So I'd love to have known what MVDP was pushing.
Oh, when he's pushing the wind out front too, like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. He doesn't even like.
Big chassis on him, a lot of wind to move.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, he
Area
looked.
to accelerate.
I wonder what he was doing up the hill. He'd definitely be doing a lot more
Mate,
than Matthew.
What did
Ganner.
Ganner do up the hill, mate?
Mate, he was
600.
out the back every climb, but he just got back on. He
I'm-
just hung on.
Mate, look out for Ganner in the next few one day classics, mate.
Was
You-
it last episode? Kurt said he's a bit clapped since the hour record.
No, that was he has been clapped for the last year or two, but he's been training his ass off and he's come good.
Mate, after that performance, I don't think he's clapped out at all. I think he's clapping everyone else out.
You know where, like, I thought Ganna could have won that race.
He should have attacked him. I mean, he
Boom.
would have been rooted though.
As he just got back on, like in that last 1.5 Ks, he shouldn't have fucking free pedaled. He should have just gone for it and done what he did when he crossed the line when all the pello took the wrong turn.
Yeah.
At bloody that.
But
other
saying
race.
that, if you're pulling 1650, mate, that should just about win you any sprint.
Absolutely.
After
Especially at Mars.
260, 50 Ks, like,
I know. It's freakish, hey?
that's incredible. And he's just pulled, like, how many watts has he pulled for the last half an hour?
Too many.
Just,
Oh man, because they actually had to stay away from the pillow between the Cipressa and the Poggio, so they're not noodling.
nah.
They're going to be on the hammer.
Anyway, it was
Garner wasn't in the draft either for most of the climbs.
That's-
Like,
that's-
he was off the back. He was having to.
He was pushing power.
and chasing
Yeah.
back on afterwards. Jeez, it was a good race to watch, though.
Oh, so good. It's one that will be spoken about for a long time.
I think it's one of the best races I've just ever seen.
Yeah. Yep. It was tactical masterclass.
Had a little bit of a chub watching that.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And the fact I called it.
The scenery's
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
All right.
Scenery was good. Now, the men's race was pretty spectacular, but the women's race was just as spectacular. They did 156 Ks, and it was a bloody spicy finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, Lisa Longo Borghini sort of attacked with 4Ks, wasn't it? Lambo, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was about that.
Yeah.
And
Just off the bottom.
Yeah, and just got a gap, and it looked like she was going to hold on to it there for a while. Hey, like a solid gap leading in 2Ks to go, K.5, K, chasing bunch.
yeah, there was about 10 in the chasing bunch there, and they've just got her on the line and then sort of lined up for the bunch kick. Looked a little bit messy on that bunch kick, but I guess after 150 Ks, you can't be held responsible for any of your sprinting lines, can you?
No, but it looked like who came in on top? Was it Weebus on top?
Yeah. She, what was it? Kopecky leading her out as well?
Yeah, potentially.
And the old dog, Marianne Voss.
Yeah, Marianne Voss was
came in for second.
It's impressive, hey?
totally bad.
Mate, she's always a favourite in these monuments, though, isn't she?
Yeah, she's done it before.
Yeah, she's done it before. She'll
Do it again.
do it again and Pauline Prevost got relegated from 4th to 12th for the irregular sprinting.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
There was a few dodgy lines going on there, but yeah. Obviously, the mountain biker needs to get her sprinting lines fixed.
Talking about mountain biking, we've got something that Freebie wants to
All terrain,
all terrain.
all purpose. Hit it, mate.
Play the music, baby.
Ole, ole, ole. Go catch Freebie shopping cart. Welcome back. It's the cart time.
The cart time, and you always deliver. Well,
Mate, I try to. I mean, it's been made a little bit easy with our good friends at Bike Bug, I must admit. But
they're coming in clutch.
they are coming in clutch. And I have in my hand what is possibly, and so does Nico, some of the
Nico's
coolest...
popping threads over here.
Some of the coolest wheels I've seen for some time. I've got the Fulcrum Sharks in hand, just unboxed them. We've got some footage we'll put up on that shortly afterwards. But this is like a shark tooth kind of pattern. Like, you see that with the Zips and you see that with the Prestons. But this is a proper shark tooth. Like, if you look at that, Jim Bob, look at that profile, mate. What are you seeing there?
Mate, they are a pretty fresh looking set of wheels. They've obviously got the shark tooth profile similar to the Zip NSWs and the Princeton Carbon Workses.
But it's like goes from a 47 to a 42 mil. So it's like 5 mil shark tooth.
So what does the shark tooth do? Is it help it
Stabilization,
more
it says.
stable
Yeah, so
in
it's
the
saying,
crosswinds?
yeah, it's saying it stabilizes the rim in crosswinds significantly, but it also allows them to obviously run an incredible depth width. Sorry, Nico, which you probably noticed and got most excited about being our all-terrain rider.
No, I'm certainly a big fan of the fat tyres. I've had a few comments on the Cannondale. It's been on my NV wheels, and they're about 25 mil wide internal. And I've put a 30 mil tyre on that. They blow it to about 32 mil wide. So
Well, that's
Wow.
that's what these are, mate. These are 25 internal. But one of the things that I think is coolest about it would be a bit of a mongrel to make is you don't need rim tape on this thing because there's no spoke nipple holes.
it's a fully sealed rim. It was very nice.
Fully
The
sealed
finish on it
rim.
all very clean.
But they're, noticeably they are all an all sort of purpose wheel, but it does take a tire up to 65 mil. In fact, the smallest tire it takes is basically a 30. So, you can kind of do everything on this. Like you could be out there on the gravel one day and then be at Lakeside with Lambo trying to get on the podium there. So it's pretty cool what you could do with these.
The thing that sort of stands out for me is they're a really great looking set of wheels.
Yeah, it's sexy.
Like just
The decal and
aesthetically, they're really doing it for me.
No, I'm certainly a really big fan of the wide rim profile that's coming through. I think I run my tyres about 50 and 55 PSI, so I feel a bit like Aladdin, just on a magic carpet, cruising around everywhere. Like, don't really get hung up on any of the bumps, but it's not like it's no slower either. Like at Muzz and Nunda, they're obviously pretty fast crit tracks. There's no penalty there, but when we were racing on the weekend on those rough roads out near Wapping,
these would be so comfy.
you just sit on a little cloud and it's super comfortable, rolls fast. And you got heaps
Talking
of
about rolling fast, you got ceramic bearings in here, mate.
This dude, USB ceramic bearings, ultra smooth bearings.
That's exactly.
That's what USB stands for.
And
Very fast hub engagement as well.
I was about to ask you about the hub engagement. What are you feeling?
Feels pretty nice. It's very silent, free hub. Maybe it needs a bit,
That's
of,
just a
bit of wear time to
just a bit
get
of
noisy,
grease in there.
get assertive, but certainly
Assertive.
engagement.
And it's come in at just over 1,400 grams.
Correct. Super light.
That's incredible for a wheel set these days, and like a well-built wheel set too. Like
The other thing as well is that you can run tube or tubeless, obviously, and I think it's got like they call it like a mini hookless setup. So it's got a much smaller hook than maybe what your Zips have and that, but still,
it's still got a hook.
it's got a hook, which means you can run some seriously fat tires on this thing.
Well, and you can run clinches still, which like people like. Oh, I haven't gone down the hookless path, and I'm scared to do it.
I
too.
think most people are, mate, to be fair.
Everyone's heard bad stories, hey?
Yeah.
From someone.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty cool that these are, these are a wheel you can have for a lifetime almost. Because why would you need to upgrade?
Where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? Like
They're very future proof.
exactly.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Because there's all this rigmarole right now about 40 mil tyres being the new fastest tyre. So you could slide those things on here easily and, one day and then be on out in the gravel the other day. It's pretty unreal.
That's the cool thing is like these are perfect for unbound if you want to do unbound as well. And then, like you said, you can rip around Lakeside or Muzz on them the next next week, you know.
And Strata Moroni.
Yeah, Strade Moroni. You definitely need these. Put the 40 mils on for that.
So, Shawnee, are you going to be trialling these wheels out for the next little while? Is that the plan?
I reckon between the three of us, we'll
Yeah, I think we'll roll. We'll have a little roll on these. Just get a feel.
We'll have a little fiddle. I reckon we do some testing with them. And like I know Freebs has a set of reserves, 45s. I've got a set of foils, 45s. And we've got these.
There's a few wheels floating around.
I reckon we can do a little 3-way test here.
I reckon it's going to look pretty good on the bike too, just quietly. Like they are.
Yeah.
Like Jim was saying, they were aesthetically pleasing without a tyre and a tube on, just like holding it in its bare state, but straight out of the box. But put that on a bike.
I'm keen to see a tyre on them.
Yeah, and it's going to look good.
Just looking at the price, so they come in just under 3,300. The Backside has a discount code, which is Shark25 for 1 week only.
How do you spell that?
SHARQ25. We'll put it on the socials, but it's 25% off the recommended
Which is just massive. Like, if you Google these wheels, there's not one place selling them less than
3,300.
3,300.
And we've got them out for under 2,500.
It's incredible. So
24.75. Lambo, how many pairs do you want, mate? You only need one.
It's one.
These ones right here will do. I'll take them now.
Done. Sold.
It's 1 week only.
It is only 1 week, so you're going to have to be quick.
Yep. So
but
think quick. The promotion ends on the 2nd of April. So
what an Easter present.
Yeah.
Put that in your shopping cart.
Put that in your shopping cart and get it
present to self.
To Kurt's house.
Yeah.
So we'll boost that up on the socials so you can all have a look and see the exact spelling, because the spelling is wigging me out a little bit. I am an engineer.
Drop the K.
But
SHARQ25.
Yep.
Get around it. We'll test them out this week. I reckon they look sexy as, and looking forward to hearing other people's stories about them if they end up getting a pair. But that's the shopping cart this week.
We'll try to put some content out in the next few weeks on them as well.
Of course we will.
Mate, I reckon that's the juiciest item you've had in your shopping cart ever.
Yeah, and it's good to have it touched and feeling it too. So we'll show you the photos. And
not just imaginary for once.
It's
made it through.
It's been checked out.
Ole, ole, ole. Go catch Freebie shopping cart.
Well, there's been a bit of action around the grounds with the Pro Velo on. Muzz still had a bit of racing last week, and Cookie got the win there. It was good on him. It wasn't the toughest field there, but he got the win.
Big Dog's got to eat.
Oh, Snooks was there again.
Snooks was there. He got on the podium. So well done, Snooks. That's two weeks in a row.
Back to back.
Yeah, Snooks has made it to the podium. Thomas Elliott also got up there for second. And there was a Hamilton TT. And it turned in a bit of a cluster for them because the timing buggered up for them. People had to submit their Strava times, and Perko got the win quite dominantly over Bernie Swart in
his new giant Trinity.
Yep. And I guess the juiciest thing from last week was Benny Moriarty getting up Cootha.
Oh, mate. What a performance.
7:17 dropping whop bombies. I'm surprised there's not a fire trail in the bloody mark from the...
Left a hole in the
from the
black
watts he
mark
burned
on the black
there.
tarmac.
Yeah, that's it. 475 watts. His heart's 174 beats per minute. I reckon he's got a bit more juice in the tank there, the old fella.
Yeah, but he's 40 now, though.
Yeah, yep. Mate, that's pretty impressive for Benny A.
Oh, man,
for anyone.
big numbers.
475 watts.
Yeah. Cookie's eyeing it off. He's got to push a little bit more power, he reckons.
Let's go, Cookie.
He needs a tailwind, and he was trying to G me up to lead him out. And I was like, Cookie, man.
You got to do it unsupported.
I've been on a 2-week bender. I can't lead you out.
I'll come and watch. Cheer from the top.
Yeah, with the defib waiting for him. Flynn Taylor, he came in for second. He's a regular up on the mountain. He just missed out on the top step with a 7:18. And Jaden Smith, he finally cracked the elusive sub-8 and got a PB,
Smashed it.
7:44. His heart was ticking. I think they had the defib up there for him.
He's with Lambo.
187 beats per minute. Not as high as Lambo's, yeah. I'm actually surprised. Did they have a defib at the crit track?
You'll
for
get
Lambo?
yours scanned this week, won't you, mate? You'll scan your see if you've done any damage.
They had ambos there, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get someone at work to do it. Some
Yeah.
of the perks.
Yeah.
I would have given you CPR, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
I think you did, mate.
I reckon I did.
There was more hugs and kisses going around than you could poke a stick out.
Yeah, the boys.
I love you.
What's that? Speak English.
love you too.
In the females, Anna Haddon, she's taken out the top
Two in a row.
2 weeks in a row. So she's in some form and just cruising too, I reckon.
Nose breathing.
Caitlin Nicholson, 10:37, and Laura Mead for a 10:56. So well done, ladies. You've done very well. I think I need to get my ass back up the backside soon.
There was 512 of them that had a crack this week.
Yeah,
So
mate.
There's a few out.
There's a few out. I was, I set the alarm this morning to head to Cootha to just do some laps. Nothing intense. And I pressed the snooze button.
It was raining out, mate. I think all of us pressed the snooze
Oh,
button.
the road. When I woke up, eventually the roads were dry.
The weather overall has been pretty average, though, hasn't it?
And more to
Oh,
come,
mate.
mate. More to come.
It has. So instead, I'm
Snuck in.
raining in the trainer room.
Yeah, mate. Like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us next week. There's probably not going to be a whole lot on this weekend. It's probably going to be rained out. So
Yeah,
racing,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, but like if it's not rained out, you got Hemo at Nunda and Muzz on Saturday, and then there's that Ipswich 100. That's on Sunday.
What's
It's like a charity sort of ride.
Oh,
like a
nice.
Fondo.
Yeah, like a Fondo sort of thing. So people get around that.
I did it 1 year with Bano. It's
Oh,
going
yeah.
back a while. It's when I first joined CCN.
Yeah.
Back in the days, first year of cycling. Bano's like, he was living out at Ipswich at that stage. He's like, we'll go out to Ipswich, do this race. I was like, all right, mate, where do we enter? He's like, no, you don't enter it. He's like, I was like, right, okay, is it just like a free thing? He's like, no, dude, we'll just ride up the road about 10 Ks, and then when they come past, we'll just jump in.
That sounds like Tozer.
It does, mate. It
Yeah,
does.
that's
So-
a Tozer special. I'm surprised Bano didn't take you on the Bruce Highway too.
It's been done. It's been done.
It's been done. So get around that. And also just a heads up, if hopefully we've still got these wheels for May the 31st, because there's the Valley Velo, which is an event which is taking place along the BVRT. They got a few distances, 150K, 100K and 50K. There's a cap of 300 riders. I think they're getting to the cap. So
Oh, wow.
get your entries in. It'll be a great day. May the 31st, it'll start getting chilly out there by then. But yeah,
Too.
wouldn't it be delightful to take these wheels out onto the BVRT? I might chuck them on the gravel bike. That'll be a game changer for
I
my
think we
gravel
just
bike.
better check in on that one before we start taking them off.
Yeah, I know. See,
I'm not responsible for that.
see what the T's and C's say, hey?
Yeah, we will. And we'll keep on the road for the time being.
Anyway, on that, should we wrap it up, you reckon?
That's a
It's
wrap.
been a fantastic episode.
Good to have the boys here,
Yeah,
Lambo, Nico.
Yep, appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks,
Oh,
guys.
mate, thanks for your efforts on the weekend. You did everyone proud up here in Queensland.
Yep, again, massive props, Lambo, for a sensational ride on the weekend.
Yeehaw.
It definitely won't be forgotten, that's for sure.
Cheers, boys.
All right, see you next week.
See you next time.
Ciao.
Yes?
500 watts, please.